The infallible Jesus Christ said these words. See? And notice, the Bible said here, they eat and they drink, of course with their pretty women. Now, will you realize that that's all right? Eating and drinking, that's one of the natural laws of life. We have to do it. But when that's all upon your mind, the day the people just become gluttons, drunk, women, drinking in the restaurants, and you go into a place where the highballs and cocktails are served, the women outdrink the man. Jesus said, as it was in the days of Noah, they were eating and drinking and giving in marriage. In other words, they were living with the women without being married to them. Amen. And today, why, it's so instituted, they did have a Reno that you could get married and divorced and married again all the same day. But that's way out of date now. The husbands, so-called, and wives pack different keys to the rooms in these big cities. Now, I've traveled, I'm right in the cities and know it to be true. That the husband has his dates and the wife has her dates. Oh, it's such a conglomeration of rottenness. Until it's produced a bunch of soft, lazy, no good, hell-bound generation. A few years ago, look where man has got to in his body. Look where he's got to about the things he's done. Science is constantly trying to make a better food, hybrid corn and hybrid tomatoes, hybrid beef, when the stuff's no good at all. It's killing the people, and they don't realize it. Why, in a few more years, there'll be nothing but just a bunch like a jellyfish. With eyes up like this, and that green stuff under their eyes, there was that thing that I seen when I was a child. There was the woman, just exactly. And I just got numb all over and began to look around, and there was those people mumbling, going on about the prices and things in the building, and I just looked like I just changed for a moment. And I looked and I thought, that's what I saw in hell. There they was, that canker. I thought because they were in hell, what made them that way, a greenish blue under their eyes. And here was these women painted with greenish blue. Just the way that vision said about 40 years ago. See? About 40 years ago is what it's been. I'm 54, I was 14. So about 40 years ago, and that's the number anyhow of the. That spiritual things that make people scream for the rocks and the mountains and everything else to fall on. The complete, total insanity this world will go into right away. It's almost there now. Well, you see the footsteps of it. There it is. It's marching right out on the street, right down the church pews. Total insanity. Do things that a human being wouldn't think of doing. You're being civilized. Look what Hollywood's done to the woman. Look how it's robbed the sacred virtues of the woman. On and on we could go. See, all this she lost. How did she do it? Because there was a subtle instrument called the church. Amen. Like there was in the Garden of Eden. A subtle person, the devil, walked into the church just like he did in the Garden of Eden and deceived her into it. She's deceived. The woman thinks she don't mean to be wrong. Eve didn't mean to do wrong. It wasn't willfully. But the Bible said in 1 Timothy 3, she was deceived. And deceived is not when you willfully do it, it's when you're deceived into doing it. And that's just exactly what's happened today. She's been deceived by television, by magazines, by these people, all these fine things that they're going out on the street. Modern girls, they look at magazines and they look at pictures, they look on the street, they see the clothing in the shops. How Satan, that great instrument of hell, has come down amongst the people and deceived them into these things. And the woman thinks she's all right. And she's dead and don't know it. She's far from God. See how she lost all this and how subtle it was? Today, I want you to notice, Jesus spoke of it. Also, if you'd like to read it, Jesus made mention that this thing would come to pass. Did you know that? In His last hours, just before His crucifixion. Let's just read it. St. Luke, the 23rd chapter, and just for a moment, like a Sunday school lesson, begin with the 27th verse, I believe I got marked out here. Jesus going to Calvary. Listen as I read it. All right, St. Luke 23:27. I believe is where we have it. My note's got it that way. Yeah, here it is. And there followed Him a great company of people and women, which also bewailed and lamented Him. But Jesus, turning unto them, said, Daughters of Jerusalem, weep not for me, but weep for yourselves and for your children. For behold, the days are coming, that they shall say, Blessed are the barren, and the womb that never bare, and the paps which never gave suck. Think today, the disgrace for to have a child. See? Then shall they begin to say to the mountains, Fall on us, and high in the hills, cover us. For if they do these things in a green tree, what shall they do in a dry? Speaking of the day that when women wouldn't no more want children, they want a dog or a cat or something like that, but she don't want children anymore. Amen. Why? She's old Mother Hubbard if she has a child. See? She don't want, that's the remarks of Hollywood.
What is it? Oh, you see where it's at? The whole thing's a big bunch of corruption. Amen. The whole thing's guilty, and the whole world stands guilty, and the church stands guilty before God. Amen. No wonder we're falling apart.